Okay, welcome everybody. We have Meta Madness number 3 in our first match today in a best of 5 series is TeamLiquid versus the 2Bs Determined. Braxis Holdout is our first map, and in case that you're not familiar with Meta Madness, once again the rules, it's pretty simple. A hero that is banned during any of the drafts within the series is banned for the entire series, meaning that heading into a 5th map you already have 20 heroes that are banned before the draft even starts. And in addition to that, as you can see up at the top, there's already banned heroes. Those are banned for the entire event. We have 3 best of 5s today, and these heroes won't be played in any of them. So in this case, the Bees actually ban out Lunara. It's not really that first ban that you normally see, but well, with like candidates like Sylvanas, like also of course Zagara, and also Li Ming and Falset already gone, Lunara is banned out here first. And of course, we are really curious to see how exactly ADRD's team is going to do here today. And no, TeamLiquid with a direct counter ban here. People have already been talking about Medivh going to be banned out against them, and it is actually happening. So Medivh, unfortunately, is not going to be played in this entire series because the Bees are just too strong. It's not really a ban that you would see in any other series this early, I suppose, but against them, it's very understandable. David Telma, thank you very much for your support here, bro. And yeah, I don't think that we're going to see a Zarya today. That would be a little bit surprising because that hero has not been released yet. But Alarak is actually allowed. So the teams are allowed to draft Alarak if they want. So that's something that we can see here today too. And looks like we are going to have Muradin as a first pick, which is actually, by the way, interesting because Muradin was one of the heroes that was nearly banned out. We had a community poll that determined the 5 banned heroes that you see up at the top, and Zagara and Muradin, those were the 2 contending for the 5th spot. And TeamLiquid, right off the bat with the cheese hammer, going for Tacita and Tracer, reminding me a bit of EuroLeague, to be quite frank here. But yeah, let's see how the Bees are going to... double tank, apparently. I mean, we don't really have a real tank banned yet. So later on, when we're going into the 3rd, the 4th map, for example, then of course you can suddenly start to choke out some roles that you, for example, limit the amount of supports, you limit the amount of tanks. On the first map, that's not really that easy to pull off. And with so far no tank being globally banned, going into the double tank here does not pose any real problem for TeamLiquid in the sense that they still have heroes that they can choose. But of course, ETC and Muradin are pretty strong in the sense that they supply a lot of control, a lot of CC here, which is one of the things that TBD is definitely going to look at right now. So that's going to be a pretty interesting start. They still need a healer here on the other hand, and of course they also need some range damage. And we could see a hammer. I mean, Braxis Holdout is a 2-lane map where we have the Zerg Swarm coming into play, but guys, that's already pretty awesome. So we don't see Medivh because Liquid says, the Bees are too strong with Medivh, let's get that boy out there. But we are seeing Sergeant Hammer. And TeamLiquid apparently wants to ban Morales because they're saying, hey, Hammer with a stim drone? Yeah, not really what we would like to deal with. And Morales, of course, is pretty solid with Hammer in general. And with that front line, she's not too bad either. But that stim drone on Hammer is definitely something that is incredibly scary. So right now, TeamLiquid is saying, okay, let's ban that out. You have to realize that going into Meta Madness games, drafts are going to be very, very different. There's a lot of things that you have to consider. How many heroes of a certain role are already banned out? How many are left? What can we go into? Is there synergies that we don't know about right now that our opponent could aim for? So it's pretty important to note that. TBD now, so the Bees are going to ban out one of the tanks, so they're actually slowly and steadily starting to reduce the amount of tanks that TeamLiquid can still play. Keep in mind that Lunara, Arthas, Morales, and Medivh are also going to be banned for the next series. Of course, I'm going to adjust the already banned thingy up at the top so that you guys will always be up to date which heroes are actually not allowed anymore. But still important to know that all of the 4 heroes that are currently banned here will not be available in the later games either. So TeamLiquid, starting off with the Tacita Tracer, they still need a frontliner. And this is one of the things where the Bees have started to limit their options a bit. Of course, there's still strong frontliners around. That Johanna, for example, got a buff in the last patch as well. Now that Night Takes Pawn is basically baseline for her on the Condemn. So on level 1, you all of a sudden can go into the Regeneration Master. You can go into block depending on the setup that you're up against. So that's still a strong tank that is around there. We have other tanks like Ethereal, like an Anubarak that they could choose. And so far, they are actually focusing a bit more down on the damage. Vala has seen a lot of changes. It was a complete rework that Blizzard put in patch 20.0, and now it's basically the multi-shot build that we see in most cases. You can get a lot of damage out, and after you get your frost shot, also a lot of control, of course, with that slow. And in addition to that, they actually picked that Tyrael here, apparently. So Tracer, benefiting from the shields of a Tassadar, and also to a certain extent, then of course also Tyrael himself. And Tyrael has the ability to jump on Hammer. You could maybe even see them going into something like an Anubarak to dive Hammer a little bit more, but we have still ETC and Murden around, so it's not as easy as jumping on him, because ETC and Murden should be ready to defend. Sarah 280, thank you very much for the resub. Thank you very much for the support here. And yeah, Liquid, they switch it around. They have BKB in their setup, so that the Haka that we saw just for a moment there is definitely an option for them. But first of all, it is Brightwing. And as Hammer, Brightwing can be quite annoying because that polymorph, of course, always unsieges you immediately. But we have a double support now with Tassadar Brightwing on Braxis Holdout here. The new map that Blizzard just added to the map pool. And TBD, what are they going to do for the bees? They need support. Oriel is still around, so you could go for the Oriel. There's a lack of cleanse, but Oriel in general is just very strong, and if you have a Hammer in your setup, then you are more or less guaranteed that you have always a lot of energy that you can use for that. But there's still a couple of other heroes around that you could use here. Rhaegar, for example. Sorry, Rhaegar is globally banned. My bad. But an Uther, that is still around. An Uther together with the ETC would be a good option for the Divine Shield, of course. You have Karazim also around. That is another solid option for the heals. And as I said, the Oriel. So all three of them very good options right now for TBD. They are definitely one of the teams that I really wanted them for a long time in this series. They have such wonky strategies and such crazy drafting that I want to see how they are measuring up against teams like TeamLiquid and also Fnatic. And we're going to see, of course, both of these setups, since we have 3 teams in today's competition, and we're going to play that round-robin system. There's the Oriel, so already Oriel with a good target for her trade to make sure that she gets that energy up so that it can heal everyone out. A great utility support with a decent amount of wave clear in addition to that, which of course is absolutely key on a lot of maps, and Braxis Holdout isn't really an exception to that. But let's see what TBD is going to draft for the last pick. They need still some damage. And at this point, you already have to kind of think about, okay, which damage dealers are actually still around here. Knarring, thank you very much for this. What? Nah, they're trolling, right? Thank you very much for the support, bro. As that Gazlo appears here. And they actually lock him down. Game number 1, boys. And we have a Gazlo. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it is Gazlo time on Braxis Holdout. And TeamLiquid is kind of looking at this and is saying like, how do we deal with that? They still need a frontliner. And guys, what do you pick here? Do you go into the Tyrael that we saw a little bit earlier? A bit more wave clear would basically Johanna, but you can go for an Anubarak too. But that draft that TVD has drafted here already looks really, really scary. And Liquid is basically... No way, no. Stitches, I would like that. Stitches against Hammer, there we go. Get that Hammer a little bit closer. So we have good old Stitches in the game. We have a Gazlo on map number 1. Braxis Holdout, ladies and gentlemen. The first map in the best of 5 series yet. Meta Madness 3. Powered by Lioncast. Let's jump in right away and check out which team is going to take the initial victory. Meta Madness number 3, TeamLiquid versus the Bees. And the game is starting up. It is the first map in the best of 5 series here. And to the left we have TeamLiquid with BKB on the Stitches, Shat on Tassadar, Sportbilly on Tracer, Sphyxy is playing Vala for TeamLiquid, and Gerd Amherd once again on the Brightwing. Whereas to the right side of the map, 80 Arties, 2 Bees Determined are playing with Blade on the ETC here today. Nasty is playing that Sergeant Hammer. We have 80 Artie himself on Gazlo. What else? Medivh was banned and he immediately went for the Gazlo pick. Bad Benny on Murden, and Curson is playing Oriel here. And yeah, boys and girls, this is gonna be good. We're on Braxis Holdout, the new map that Blizzard added to the pool. And already Gazlo up at the top on the solo lane. Nasty has to activate the thruster since he gets hooked. And well, that's a feeling that he can get adjusted to because that Stitches is gonna watch out for him quite a bit during this game. First of all, Stitches here with a heavy slam on level 1, so going into a bit of a damage build already as is. Vala with a new build going into the Hot Pursuit. We would still expect her to go into a lot of multi-shot talents for wave clear and also damage. It's like the dominant build right now on Vala after the rework. And besides that, we have Brightwing with the unfurling spray. Another thing that we probably should point out here now in patch 20.0 is that, of course, a lot of these talents on hero builds have been switched around. Blade with the aggressive slide here, trying to go for a kill against Stitches. BKB in a bit of trouble, using his Devour to just heal himself up again and able to escape here. But already quite a bit of brawling going on down at the bot lane here. And let's keep in mind that especially Muradin, who goes into third wind right now, has a bit of a baseline slow on the auto attacks on his clap now. So the build is a little bit more flexible on level 1 when you can go into third wind or block, depending on the setup that you're up against. The Tracer and Tazadar comp is definitely going to get a bit of momentum later on in the game, but let's see if TeamLiquid can actually have the impact with that combination that they really want to have here. Once again, we're also seeing the globe spawning down here, immediately taking the neutral health bar that you can basically get. We also have Swift Sweep taken for Auriel as level 1, and as you would expect, she always has her trade on Hammer. Again, the hook, and I have to give some credit already to the two tanks here who always shield Hammer from those hooks. But now just check out the objective here. The beacons are about to be activated. Once again, a lot of mines already in position here. And up to the top lane, we have ADRD with his Gazlo. And on level 1, he straight went into the Regeneration Master. So let's see how he's going to play the hero. We see Gazlo a little bit more in the current patch. At this point now, though, both of those beacons are about to be taken, but with Tracer moving up to the top, we have a split 1-for-1. BKB, on the other hand, split from the rest of the team. A nice move by ETC, pushing him away, and even with Devour, there's no chance for BKB to stay alive here. Nasty now in position for the siege up. Good job by him. And that Hammer is getting solid value at the bot lane now that the threat of Stitches is eliminated. Level 4 for the team now also happening, but still a beacon under the control of each of the teams. So nobody is really getting any progress done on the objective just yet. But we have level 4, and with that, we now see the Clockwork Steam Fist, the standard talent to take now on level 4 for Gazlo. And that quest talent can definitely help you a lot later on in the game. Bad Benny still looking for the Thunderburn here. He wants to have the synergy with the Thunderburn and later on the healing static on level 13, which is why he goes for that build. And Vala, as expected, for punishment. An absolute key talent in the new Vala build if you want to get good damage done, since she is always going to rely on those Hatred stacks to get the maximum amount of damage out with that multi-shot. It's a great wave clear tool as well, of course, and you can get solid numbers on the board with it. We're going to talk about that later. Stitches also with a damage build, Putrid Ground for him, and Tazadar going with a standard here with those shields, the Leeching Plasma with Tracer. It's definitely the talent that you want to go for, as well as, of course, the pre-shields laid out. Blade once again initiating a bit of an attack here. Nasty in good position. The hook against Blade. He's still in cooldown in his slide, but it does not matter. Slight lead for the Bees already in this first game. ADRD is still fighting against Brightwing up at the top lane, but this 4 versus 4 down here is still going strong. And of course, with all of those turrets around, ADRD is still trying to push this lane back a little bit. So far, it has been pretty even actually between Brightwing and him, but ADRD's Gazlo should be able to make a bit more happen than later on in the game. Also, Tracer going into the Tracer rounds for Vision and the parting gift on level 4. In the meantime, though, the bot lane stun into stun, and BKB, again in trouble, is moving away. Keep in mind that there's no real healer down here. It's only Tazadar, and of course he can do a whole lot to help his team out, but still, Brightwing can be needed in these situations. Brightwing will join the fun a bit later on. Already at the top lane again, ADRD setting everything up with his Gazlo. Now, trying to push that through, but the gank is there. Sport Bill is jumping on him, going straight for the disable. ADRD about to fall, trying to escape, barely getting away. Sport Billy also attacked by the turrets here. Had to retreat. On the bot lane, on the other hand, Hammer is getting Hammer value. The entire time just sitting there and getting value, whereas follow-through has now been chosen for Blade. He wants to be a bit aggressive. They have a double tank combination, and he wants to make sure that they can get some damage out. The hyper coolant engines to make sure that you can activate the thrusters a little bit more often. So Nasty is, of course, totally aware that a good Stitches hook might be his demise and is trying to escape in these situations. Full focus on the turrets here. Rocket Turret XL chosen for Gazlo. We're seeing cooldown reduction for Muradin, as you would expect. And Vala going, of course, once again into the multi-shot. Now we have the pre-shields also in play, as Khaldor's Embrace has been chosen by Tazadar. In the brawl down here at the bot lane, as Bad Benny stuns out again. Hook is missing him. Muradin jumps out, but the blue team is starting to gain some momentum here and attempting to claim the second beacon now too. Nasty in position. Auriel with a good push here, but once again, Sport Billy has to go for the rewind and immediately jumps back with his teleports, but Brightwing is now down here, so the sustain fight is in favor of TeamLiquid. Hooks are happening again, no beacon progress, yet we are 6 minutes into the game, but both teams are looking for an opportunity here. Curson already just dancing around in the back, all of them of course very eager to dodge those Stitches hooks that will eventually come hitting. But BKB is able to claim this one now at the bot lane again for his team. Up to the top on the other hand, Sfixie is running into trouble against ADRD. Gazlo is starting to win that lane. Sfixie has to move back. Down here we have 2 beacons under the control of the red team, and they're starting to get that progress in. They want the Zerg Swarm, but Nasty in a bit of trouble is able to be safe, though they are 34% already on the progress. Blade on the way back. Sportbilly is trying to go for the beacon, but Bad Benny claiming it for a few more seconds as Blade is now about to move into Oriel with the heals here the entire time. Gets hooked though. Sportbilly is low. And finally TeamLiquid reclaiming the spot, but they're down to 70%, and it was a 5 versus 4. Up to the top lane, Gazlo is getting value. He's very much alone, and it's nearly level 9 versus 8. Now Vala is moving up to the top again, but at the bot lane, once again the hook, this time against Blade. He gets attacked. Tracer goes in for the kill and eliminates ETC. This is kill number 2 in the game, and once again 2 beacons under the control of the red team. 80% for them. TeamLiquid reclaims the spot down here. ADRD, of course, also attempting to just get his talent, his quest talent done. And at this point, we are actually in a situation which once that he is able to do that, he will just like spam those turrets out like other people can do. Up to the top lane, ADRD already in position. Wow, hitting Sportbilly here. But he lost that beacon. 2 heroes are giving him a bit of trouble, but those relentless turrets are just an absolute pain to deal with. Level 9.5, nearly 10. We could see the Robo-Goblin here. It's great for pushing power, but of course there's always the gravel bump to consider as well. ADRD is low, very low actually, but is not dying. The multi-shot not hitting him. Down to the bot lane, just look at that pressure play. Once again, the fort is nearly eliminated. Level 10 is hitting now, and the Swarm is released. Here comes the Zerg Swarm, the Broodlords as well, traveling down that lane, barreling in against that tower, and also, of course, the fort itself. Here we have it now. The Gravel Bomb has been chosen, the Napalm Strike, Mosh Pit. You see the Avatar and the Crystal Aegis. No level 10 for TeamLiquid just yet, as the bees are pushing in here. They want to go for the fort, and they're going to get this one easily. Hammer is also around, and at the same time now TeamLiquid just scrambling to get a few more experience points so that they get level 10 and can finally rely on their heroic abilities too. In this case, though, it's a little bit tricky for them. They have to rely on the multi-shot and also the storms for the poke. Of course, BKB is looking for that hook, but the first fort is already down, and it's still that talent lead that is a problem. ADRD is once again going up to the top, claiming that neutral point. We have at the same time now 10s on both sides, and that gives us the Quantum Spike. We have also a Blink heal. Gorge has been taken by BKB. Vala going for the Rain of Vengeance, and they try to get the kill again. Once more, Tracer is jumping in. They're starting to get that Tracer value. Level 10 versus level 11. And as you can tell down here, still taking the position to claim fort number 2. Tracer, 26,000 damage, but Nasty is already on 31,000 with his Sergeant Hammer. And let's not forget about Gazlo, who will get even more value in the later stages of the game once that he has more talents that he can dump into his turrets. He's doing fairly well thus far. The team is only a level ahead though, and ADRD is barely dodging that hook here. But the camp is about to be taken. BKB and Sportbilly are there though. They want to contest it. They're going for it. Level 10 for both of the teams when it comes to the abilities, but the red team, the bees, they are able to claim the camp. Shad is still there, going into the dimensional shift, was a bit afraid of ETC using his power slide, and immediately we have both teams rotating heroes back onto the lane to make sure that they are still having... Oh, there we go! We have immediately this... Oh, ETC, and look at this! They also go straight for the Gravel Bomb. But yep, Blade is not able to lock Gerd down. Only one kill, the kill against Face, and that was the one that really worked out for them. So, in this case, a kill for them. A good hook, though, and the Gorge. But the slide, ETC wants to go behind the wall, is not able to push Nasty in. Very unfortunate. Thanks to Blade, Hammer is safe. Great job by ETC in this case. It was actually like very well done. Without that, they would definitely died here. Gojo, of course, intended to just like move the target behind the wall and then kill it safely, but that didn't really work out for them. Level 13 just about to hit for the red team, and once again we have the beacons active, and we are seeing some value already on the progress bar for the bees. They are on 10% right now. Level 13 could change that once again in favor of TeamLiquid, though. Sorry for the bees, though, since they have the earlier talent. There's the first Rain of Vengeance wave, another talent that got changed. And there we now see finally level 13, but the kill against ETC! And it's a good one! Nice! Oriel completely isolated with a good force wall after the hook of BKB. And both of the beacons in just a few seconds under the control of TeamLiquid. Or not quite, since Gazlo set up shop down at the bot beacon. Groupies is now taken. We have the Giant Killer, the turret storage for even more Gazlo turrets, and BKB is in a position where he has to realize that he can't really do a whole lot against those. He is eating, though. He is eating Gazlo, trying to give a setup for Sportbilly, and this is going to be a kill, even with a gravel bomb. AD is very likely to die down here. Stitches is also falling on the other hand, moved into the minion wave that took him down. It's a kill for a kill. What just happened? And we are seeing the converging force here on the side of Oriel. The healing static, giving Murden, of course, even more power. 22% on the progress bar for the bees, but ETC is in trouble, and Sphyxy is missing the Rain of Vengeance wave. Bad Benny not missing that stun, though, and they go immediately for Sphyxy, who's trying to escape, but look at Nasty, he's also quite low. He has Tracer, is going deep, and once again the attempt to lock her down with the Mosh Pit, not happening, but still Tracer falling in the 5 versus 4 now. The level 13 talent just a bit too strong. TeamLiquid still looking for an opportunity here to get the first Zerg Swarm for themselves, but right now the bees are just filling the entire setup here. More and more minions are streaming in for it. They are 46% already, and of course up to the top lane, BKB is finally taking this one, but they need a bit more than that. And the first thing they need is level 13. They need that talent. They can't really fight in a 5 versus 5 setup without having the level 13, and they are now finally able to rely on it, where we immediately see the Ricochet taken on the side of Tracer. We also have even more damage thanks to the Mega Smash, which of course increases now the range. Brightwing taken down. Oh, that was a bit unfortunate. Brightwing dead, even though went for the Ice Block at level 13. We still have that boss, of course, also in the middle that can be claimed. Dimensional Shift now taken. Oh, well, actually, it's the Prescient 4-dimensional shift that's going to help out here. And the Tempered Discipline on level 13. So actually trying to go even for a little bit more heal. Not going for Gloom, which we oftentimes saw because there's a lot of auto attack damage instead. But again, the Power Slide saving Nasty. Blade with an exceptional job on his ETC to keep Nasty safe. Nice moves here. Good damage by Sphyxy, by the way, thanks to the multi-shot build. We can have a closer look at that as well, of course. He's currently at 38,000, but that fight is still ongoing, and the entire wave is now set up. The swarm is moving, and that beacon progress in favor of the bees is just fantastic. But if now one of the heroes dies, if Bad Benny falls, that might be a different story. He's still safe, though. And the bees are moving in right now. Not only with the camp down here, but the swarm is also approaching. And that is quite a bit of damage that will be dished out here. This could actually mean keep at this point. This could definitely mean keep. It's even talents right now, but this is the bees, and they have a hammer. They have a hammer, they have a Gazlo, and they're going through, guys. They're starting to move in here, and this fort, this keep is gonna be a goner. Are they gonna go through for the core? That's the more important question right now. They might even get level 16 talent, and once they have that, that's another advantage in their favor that they could use to end the game and also win map number 1 in the best of 5 here at Meta Madness. Everybody is starting to actually push in for it, but they can't really make it happen just yet. There's quite a bit of AoE right now available, with especially Vala, of course, relying on those multi-shots. That's a bit of a trap setup that we see down here too. Level 16 in just a few, so at this point, everybody is already getting ready for it. They're seeing the boss in the mid lane still not attacked by any of these teams, but the camps are attacked. So at this point, there's not really a whole lot to do, especially on the side of TeamLiquid. You need to get some lane push going. The camps are ideal for that. You can't really fight because your opponent is about to hit 16, actually did just now, so you don't really want to go into an open battle. Hammer now with a graduating range, not going into hovering siege mode or any like this, trying to set up safely in the back. We have imposing presence, another talent that was changed in the last patch quite a bit, activatable right now. So yeah, going into this talent, and we have at the same time the superior schematics taken as well. And that damage increase when you are in range is actually like a pretty decent tool to make Gazlowe very scary. The heavy impact for more stuns, the will of heaven also taken for the attack speed. And that's something that can of course benefit a lot of the heroes that we see on their side, especially Sergeant Hammer. If you have that attack speed increase on a hero that already has sick auto attack damage, that is going to make this even stronger. Camps all over the place right now, and at this point we have 5 kills versus 3. We are 16 minutes in on Braxis Holdout, our first map. Blade is getting slowly and steadily into a position where he could maybe even get a good slide in, but right now TeamLiquid is just falling back. They realize they can't fight. They don't want to risk it. They move back early because they're saying, guys, the only chance that we have is getting a surprise kill somehow. That was a nice attempt here with the Rain of Vengeance and also, of course, with a Force Wall, but Blade was not really too impressed. And keep in mind that Rain of Vengeance is another talent that was actually changed. So right now you have 2 charges on it, so it's not such a huge waste if you just use one of them. You can actually direct it a little bit better. And with him using Rain of Vengeance, he can also use that then later on to just interrupt the mosh pit if properly executed. But the first thing that TeamLiquid really needs is level 16, and they are of course fully aware of it. So that's what they're currently waiting for, and they have now the objective is up again. So the timing is actually pretty decent for TeamLiquid. They're about to hit 16, they don't have it just yet, but they could finally get that talent and then fight for it. Bad Benny is down here, sees Sport Billy, and immediately moves away again. So yeah, that was a bit of an attempt to set maybe a little gank up that didn't really work out for them just yet. But up here to the top, it's all about the experience once again, of course. You want to have the 16, and you need it soon. Already trying to hold this for as long as they possibly can so they can get the 16. Now they have it, and they have to group again. They have to go for one of the beacons. And it looks like they're going to go for the bottom one now, because the bees are already channeling the progress bar. We're having 16 with even more pulverized talents, slam talents here. Yeah, nice. Sphyxy missing a lot of these Rain of Vengeance today. The second one was really good though. Grabber Bomb is used, doesn't hit anything though. The Aegis to save Kirstenbed. Benny is low, Stitches using Gorge. Vala going also into the slow right now, and the range on the multi-shot. Look at Nasty! Nasty's still alive, and he survives somehow. ETC again saving his metal ass. What a play by Blade here. Nasty should have been a goner, but ETC once more with a save, and still TeamLiquid trying to go for the beacon. It's currently 34% in favor of the bees, but TeamLiquid isn't done with it just yet. Their combo with Tracer Tacita is getting a little bit more traction now that Locked and Loaded is being used as a talent on 16. Tacita himself, of course, with a dimensional warp, and they're still looking for an opportunity here to get another kill and claim the first Zerg wave. Oh, the mosh pit! Rain of Vengeance is on cooldown, a 4-man mosh pit. Blade, you monster! And they go for BKB, who is dying, and this could be the moment where the bees decide the game. It's a 5 versus 4. Blade dies though. Sport Billy finally getting that damage and that kill in that they were looking for the entire time, and he's trying to make it a double. Bad Benny is moved back. Look at Sphyxy finally with another Rain of Vengeance wave. Good Force Wall, great Force Wall. The stuns are there though. Trying to get Brightwing immediately with a own Ice Wall thingy. The, what's it called? Ice Block, there we go. Okay, Ice Block to save himself. It's a 1-for-1, but again, the Swarm is there. We are going to see not only the top lane pushing, but we have also another Zerg Swarm coming into play right now. And this is getting really nasty. I'm not talking about the Hammer play here. So at this point, TeamLiquid needs to defend somehow. And this is just getting harder and harder for them to pull off. If you just look at the experience, it's only a level that the bees are ahead. And there's solid damage on heroes like Vala. But this game at least, definitely is Sphyxy having a bit of trouble getting his Rain of Vengeance in properly. When that 4-man mosh pit happened, of course, that was the perfect mosh. Blade, for me personally right now, the player of the game here. He is playing such a fantastic match. It is incredible. He died, though, in the last fight, and he's just now starting to join up with the rest of the team. But already, they keep safe. Actually safe. Thanks to especially Sport Billy and with the pressure against individual heroes. And let's not forget about Vala, who is able to use that multi-shot now from a safe distance with that extra range. Good hook and the Gorge. They're trying to get that done. Good Force Wall to slow them down a little bit more. The Polymorph and the, no, not the kill. What an Aegis. What a play. The Beast, once again, that Rain of Vengeance wave was perfect, but the Aegis was there. Only one stun after the Gravel Bomb, but oh my god, are the Beasts playing a fantastic game right now. Several times already we saw Curson with just clutch heroic abilities. This time he might find himself in too much trouble though. He's down. The mosh pit doesn't change the fact. The stun on the mosh pit immediately. Nobody really stunned out by that though. TeamLiquid maybe finally with that play. The force wall. The force wall is perfect. It's a double kill and TeamLiquid is getting some traction in the game. Bad Benny! Bad Benny's low! He's low, about to fall, but Tacita dies instead. This game is absolutely amazing. I'm loving it. It's the perfect start, actually, into this series. Wow. Just wow. I mean, at this point, we have 6 kills against 7. Look at those damage numbers. 72,000 on Tracer. 71,000 damage on Vala with that multi-shot build. TeamLiquid struggling to take structures down, but finally starting to gain a bit of momentum, and they're going for the boss. And guys, this boss is brutal. This is a monster. If this guy starts hitting you, you are in so much trouble. Just look how much hit points that thing has. Look how low BKB is. But so far, nobody's actually calling. Look how low these guys are. That's 4 people on the boss. But there comes Bad Benny. He wants to jump on it. The boss is taken, though. They get the boss. And immediately we're seeing Sport Billy moving back. They're going for Bad Benny. Bad Benny already attacked by the boss. And as I said before, that guy is brutal. He is a monster. And let's see what they can actually do with it. Up to the top lane, on the other hand, there is still another camp that is pushing in right now. The boss already traveling down to the bot lane, where they might be able to get some plays, and the beacons are also active. Keep that in mind. It's beacon time as well. That Benny already claiming the one at the bot lane. Up to the top, one of the forts might actually fall, and TeamLiquid is closing the gap in experience. And once that they do that, they might even hit level 19 a bit faster. Tracer still at the top lane, getting the value here against the fort. The boss going through the wall here, no problems whatsoever. They're still defending, trying to hold also the spot at the same time, which is possible thanks to the turrets of Gazlo. The top fort is destroyed, and Tracer making her way down to the bot lane. Nearly even experience right now for the two teams though. Level 19 versus 19 with a slight lead on the side of the Beast. Hook attempt again, but turrets already placed in the front. Gazlo is everywhere with those right now, and we are just trying to go for another setup here. ETC Mosh Pit this time not successful, but BKB is low. BKB, he's dead. BKB is down, and even with the constant poke that we have from Vala, there's nobody else dying. Or is there? Sport Billy, Sport Billy, Sport Billy has to go for... No, he's down too. They can't get the kill. The Aegis again saving Nasty. Curson with a place right now, and this might be another beacon for them, but they're still fighting. They're still fighting. Vala is in a bit of trouble, moving away here. Gravel Bomb getting no value, but up at the top lane, there's still a wave pushing. Level 20 talents are in play right now, and with that, we're currently seeing the rewind. We're having still a little bit of poke happening down here at the bot lane. Bolt of the Storm. We're seeing the Shield of Hope taken, and of course, what's going to happen on the side of Gazlo. Still the pressure play here right now, but we have the channel active on the beacon's progress. 2 heroes are still down for TeamLiquid. They're doing whatever they can to try and prevent this, but they're just poking at this point. They need 20 and they know it, but there comes the rest of the setup. Good force wall. Bad Benny in a bit of trouble. Bad Benny low, jumping in, going for Vala. Sphyxie in trouble. Sphyxie in a lot of trouble. Dropping the Rain of Vengeance here on the retreat. Get him here, jumping away. It's a 3 versus 5, and they're still making it happen somehow. God knows how, but they do it. The problem is that the objective has been claimed again. 100% already on it. On the other hand, the fort is still being attacked, and up at the top lane we are going to see, no, at the bot lane we are going to see the swarm. So a keep is not being threatened here. It's the core that's threatened right now. The core is at this point going to be attacked. We have Bolt of the Storm on Stitches, the Total Recall now for Tracer, and Farflight Quiver. Guys, this talent allows Vala to stay so far back. It is insane. Storm Shield also, they need to defend, and they have a great job actually with just poking. They just can't lose a hero right now. Stitches, very well done here, jumping away. Good cleanse also by Gerd, who did actually go for the cleanse with Brightwing, and they should be able to save their core here. I mean, it's only the Guardians that are left in the back. Most of the stuff is already defeated, and up at the top lane there's still a few remainders of the earlier camp starting to push against the keep that we see for the Beast. This game is crazy. We're 25 minutes into a Heroes of the Storm game on Braxis Holdout. Oh, Tracer getting away with the Total Recall here. The wall Shad with the wall, and Stitches with an attempt to go for the Gorge. The shield on Brightwing already used. The Aegis set, the stun combo, and the kill against the solo tank at the front line. BKB is dead again. Bad Benny with the bunny hop, going for the rewind here. Hop, little dwarf, hop, hop, but they still can't kill Sport Billy. And they keep at the top lane. It has fallen. The keep is down. But AD and his boys, 2B is determined. They want to end the game. They want to finish the game. It's actually even in structures. Not quite, but it's close. It's nearly even in structures right now with a keep kill for both of them. I don't think they can end here, or can they? It's 30 more seconds. There's already one, while Sphyxy is just poking the entire time, but Nasty has set up with a nice range here. No, the mosh pit, the cleanse! It doesn't matter. Vala is dead. This could be game here right now. 5 versus 3. The core down to 77%. They're going for it. Shad still with the moves. Again, the power slide, the stun. Sport Billy is dead, and this is it. This has to be GG. What a first map between Team Liquid and the Bees. The game is over and the Bees are in the lead. What a fantastic opening map. Unbelievable. Game number 2, everybody. Towers of Doom. The Bees are in the lead with the 1-0 here at Meta Madness. Game number 2. Up at the top, you can see all the heroes that are already banned. So in the last map, or on the last map, in the last draft, we had Medivh, Arthurs, Lunara, and also Morales banned out. And of course, those heroes are also not available for this game anymore. Already starting to limit that hero pool quite nicely. But then again, we had a Gaslow Sergeant Hammer on the last map. Not really what you would expect one way or the other. But right now, the team's, of course, already looking at this and they're saying, like, okay, what can we actually do here? It is Towers of Doom. It is a map where you can just cheese a little bit. How do we play around this? And especially when it comes to the damage setup, there's a lot of damage heroes that are already banned out. 2 of the tanks are also, sorry, 2 of the healers are also not available. So let's see how this is going to go. Team Liquid looking at a ban on ETC, which means that ETC is also not going to be available anymore in the next map. But this is already, I would still say, a bit of a respect ban. I mean, of course, ETC in itself is already an amazing hero, but Blade, he really excelled on it in the last game. I mean, oh boy, did he save Sergeant Hammer time and time again. Curson on that, yeah, on that Oriel as well. Absolutely fantastic play right there. And the 4-man mosh pit that we saw from Blade on his ETC, that was definitely something. The Bees, on the other hand, right now, they are going for their first ban as well. And, I mean, we are on Towers of Doom. You still have to think about the Vikings as well. But the Bees apparently not really afraid of the Vikings at this point. They are currently looking at a Kerrigan ban. I was just about to say, against chat, you should probably ban the Vikings here. And yes, Vikings are being banned out. I think that's actually a very good ban. Vikings are just like way too strong, and especially when Chat controls them. I mean, he's one of the best Vikings players that we have currently in the game. Team Liquid starting things off with Muradin right now. So keep in mind that all of the heroes that you see up at the top are already banned out. So we are, for example, not going to see a Zagara or Sylvanas here in this setup. And we have also Rhaegar and Morales banned, which would allow you to go into a bit of a support choke against your opponent if you start banning maybe like a Rhaegar, sorry, not a Rhaegar, but like an Uther, Charism, and try to push them down a little bit. The Bees apparently this time trying to give Team Liquid a taste of their own medicine by heading into a Tracer pick, or at least they're thinking about it right now. It would be a very early Tracer. You have to also consider that there's quite a couple of damage heroes that are already banned out. I mean, oftentimes for damage we see heroes like Falstad, Zagara, Li Ming, Sylvanas, Lunara, and they are already off the map, all of them. What? I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love the Gaslow first. That would be quite the statement. That right now the Bees actually starting to kick this off. Is it going to be the Tracer? I mean, they have a double pick, like, guys, and make a choice. You just have to take one for now. Esha, thank you very much for the sub. Thank you very much for that. And also their support. There's the Tracer immediately. Keep in mind, guys, if you want to support Meta Madness, there's a link right over there for Patreon. Basically, all the money that is collected by Patreon is also going to be used for prize money and for like setting up additional events. So if you want to support the series as a whole and not necessarily me as a person, then going to Patreon and support Meta Madness there is the best thing that you can actually do. So if you are thinking about supporting those events, then that's the best way that you can go about it. In the game here, on the other hand, now we have that set up again with Tacita Tracer. So the Tracer already set in first and then followed by Tacita. It's just like that combo that is so strong thanks to the shields, the leeching plasma, the pre-shielding for Tracer as well with all the mobility that she has. And TeamLiquid is getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine here. And they are currently looking at an Abathur. Now, Abathur with Muradin in itself is, of course, already absolutely fantastic to play in the later stages of the game. You can go in to give him the X over the heavy impact on level 16. And if Abathur goes for the symbiote support with a slow, the damage output that you get with Muradin is insane. But there is also the copy available. And if you go for copy target, Greymane is one of your best bets. And it seems to be the hero that TeamLiquid is currently looking at as well. A double Greymane is still quite powerful, and as I mentioned before, the damage pool is getting a bit smaller. So the hero pool that can really dish out damage is something that the teams have to consider at this point. The Bees, right now, they need to go for a ban, and they can ban supports out. If they ban a support right now and take the second support in the next round of the draft, TeamLiquid will already be fairly limited. You can, for example, if you want to pick the Brightwing, ban right now a Charism, if you want to, or vice versa. So there's a couple of ways that the Bees can go about this. But I really think trying to push TeamLiquid into a support choke might be a decent idea, even though they have already Abathur. But it is instead Vala. Vala already with that multi-shot build that we've seen showcased in the last game, quite strong. And they don't want to go up against that again, especially with that multi-shot against the Tracer. I mean, that spread that you have after level 16 is pretty fantastic. So Tracer, of course, she can't dodge everything. And at that point, Vala might be able to get the damage in to put her under a lot of pressure in this case. TeamLiquid going for a ban on Thrall. And guys, we are starting to think about the next game already a little bit. The heroes that will be banned in the next game, in addition to the one that you see at the top, are Vikings. Don't think that's going to come into play too much. Vala, ETC, and maybe even material. So slowly and steadily, we are first of all starting to lack damage heroes, and we are starting to lack also heroes that are able to tank at the front line. So it is getting a bit nasty here. They switch it around into the Stitches. Okay, so they allow the Stitches, and they allow the material, and they ban out the Stitches. The Bees could go, well, I actually think they should at least go for another support right now, and they should probably go for their frontliner. I feel that damage is still around. If you want to go into a Brightwing, on the other hand, to have a little bit more global presence, and you should do that now. Will Q, thank you very much for the support here as well. Cheers, buddy. It's appreciated. And there was the Brightwing for a second. I can still see that happening. Tychus is chosen for the second damage dealer. Brightwing would be a good option here. There's still enough tanks around that you can take. I mean, we have Tyrael, we have Nubarak. That can still be chosen, just to mention two. Johanna is also still available. So there's still a couple of options of frontliners that you can play with. And now they go for the Tyrael. So no Brightwing just yet. They could, in theory, also play this with the Tacita solo, of course. They have Shields and Tyrael. They have also Tacita himself. But overall, I would really still believe that a second healer is kind of mandatory for them here. Liquid, on the other hand, they are still in need of A, healer, and B, Zeratul. Okay, I like it. Abathur, Zeratul, and if they go for Brightwing right now for the heals, they can just simply go with the Zeratul anywhere on the map. Brightwing jumps in, Abathur goes for a head, and they can take a target down. But instead, they opt for Oriel. Oriel here with Greymane, able to just get those heals in, but now the global presence of Brightwing against that, and also, of course, a decent tool against Zeratul itself. I actually think that for TeamLiquid, Brightwing might have even been a bit of a better choice just because of that ambush potential that you have with Abathur, Zeratul, and Brightwing. But they just think that Oriel is giving them a little bit more here. And Oriel is a fantastic healer, of course. They don't necessarily need a cleanse with the setup that is being used by the Bees right now. Oriel lacking a cleanse, of course. The Golem Bomber. Great nickname, dude. Great nickname. Thanks for that. Thank you very much for the support as well. Cheers, buddy.
You do a good job.
Thanks, bro. Great nickname, the Golem Bomber. But yeah, Oriel and Brightwing, the last two picks here. And guys, we're going to head into game number 2 of the best of 5 series here at Meta Madness. So let's jump in on Towers of Doom. TeamLiquid going up once again against the 2 Bees determined. Game number 2, the Bees against TeamLiquid. Meta Madness to number 3, ladies and gentlemen. And currently, to the left side, we have TeamLiquid with BKB on Muradin. Get I'm here this time on Oriel, Sport Billy on Greymane, Sphyxy on Zeratul, and Shad is playing Abathur. To the right side of the map, we have the Bees with Blade on Tassadar after he played this fantastic ETC in the last map. Bad Benny as the main tank is playing Tyrael here with Nasty on Tracer, ADRD on Tychus, and Brightwing on Curson. So a Tracer-Tassadar combination on the side of the Beast this time, trying to give TeamLiquid a taste of their own medicine. And already a bit of a slight change in the build here, as Tracer did not go for the reveal attacks on level 1, but instead it's the Pulse Strike that has been taken here. Shrug It Off taken for Tychus, and we have once more third wind for Muradin, after he of course got changed in the last patch slightly. And a damage build for good old Zeratul with Seasoned Marksman. Even an adjustment on Abathur with the regenerative microbes on level 1. That shield heal build on Tassadar is actually a little bit more common these days. BKB and Sphyxy up at the top lane are currently trying to take Curson down. That didn't really work out. But Towers of Doom is actually, of course, a great setup here once again for this. And guys, once more, a quick information about the entire event here, in case that you're not quite familiar with it. In Meta Madness, heroes that are banned during a best of 5 series on any map are banned for the entire series. Meaning, of course, that the hero pool going forward through it is going to be severely limited, and therefore teams have to opt for a little bit more unorthodox heroes and combos and really show that the hero pool and their drafting is top notch, and that's what we want to see. Greymane is down already, the first blood for the Bees. Great play by them, and Nasty might actually even be able to take down BKB. Barely surviving. Muradin is on the way back. Gerd with a quick shove against Blade, making sure that Tassadar doesn't get close enough for another storm. But the triple event on the map is already about to happen here. Altar's active in 20 more seconds. And this is what we're going to see here fairly soon. So which one of the teams is going to be able to claim those first shots? Of course, on this map you can still let a few early ones go. And with Abathur in the setup, he is going to get a massive power spike after level 10 thanks to his ultimate evolution. Before that, it's always a little bit tricky to engage into those 5 versus 5 team fights. Sport Billy with a channel. We're having actually the mid lane also attacked here. 2 versus 2 to the left, but already the first few shots fired as the one to the right was attacked. Down here, Blade is going up against BKB and Gadamherd into the top lane. Zeratul is moving in again as Sport Billy is getting assisted by Abathur. BKB comes in too. Stun against Curson. It's a double kill. Zeratul down, but so is Tychus. A 2 versus 2 still, and of course Abathur could jump in, but the kill against Curson. Brightwing is down, but more shots fired as this one has been claimed by the Bees too. But Sphyxy is at least able to channel one altar through for his team and get 4 shots fired against the core of the Bees determined. With level 4, we also now see once again the Thunderburn in play. We're seeing Oriel with that standard build on the pro level with the Swift Sweep into Majestic Span, and Greymane going for the Draft Overflow right now, whereas we are seeing Warple Blades and the sustained Carapace taken for Abathur. So as explained a little bit earlier, Abathur players oftentimes these days are actually going into the shield build. The build was changed, I think like 1 patch ago. And right now, a lot of the players are starting to really just try and give a little bit of additional sustain to their heroes. And the heal is actually quite significant, especially in the later stages of the game. But right now, we still have the opportunity at the bot lane to put Gerd under a little bit of pressure by the Bees. And they're doing that. Nasty is absolutely doing work right now. But they lose Tychus. And Tracer might have been doing a lot of damage here, but not securing the kill. And now all of a sudden, they are losing 2 heroes. TeamLiquid with great coordination. And they have now 4 kills against 2 already confirmed in this second game. They are behind, of course, in the series, and they are going to attempt to make sure that this is going to be a tie afterwards. So far, they're doing a pretty excellent job, and they even steal the camps away right now. Map control on Towers of Doom is oftentimes everything. It's one of the main reasons also why the Vikings are banned out as one of the first bans, since it's of course absolutely crazy to just like soak on all of the lanes and still claim the objective at the same time. So that advantage is something that the Bees wanted to shut down immediately, since TeamLiquid had the first pick in this. The level 7 talent that we now have to come into play is giving a slight edge to TeamLiquid, but it's only a very small window of opportunity that they had here. Already the Bees are on 7 as well. Gerd again being attacked by Tracer. He is a priority target here right now, but look at ADRD. He is in trouble on his Tychus, but Sport Billy has to move away. The heal is not there just yet. BKB, Gadamherd and Sport Billy, they are all so low, and BKB is actually falling. And that is giving at least one of those altars over to the Beast Determined. Level 7 talents now with a follow-through on the side of Zeratul. We're seeing the Incendiary Elixir taken by Greymane. First tower already firing, and there we have the second altar also about to be channeled. Sphyxie's trying to escape with the help of Abathur, is blinking away. Still they hold this one, and BKB of course on his Mirrodin is back. Gerd is trying to buy some time. Bad Benny in the back on the other hand. He is still the one trying to channel. He's interrupted. ADRD is also on his way back to the scene of the crime right now with his Tychus. The kill against Zeratul on the other hand seems to confirm this one for the Bees. Abathur still up at the top lane, not doing a lot of body soaking though. Maybe a bit of a misstep here by Abathur, could maybe be a little bit farther out here, but at this point a second altar is going to be channeled and TeamLiquid is starting to fall behind. 24 points against 36 on the core. Abathur at the top lane, still pushing of course the lane in thanks to his Locust, and he went also on level 7 now into the Vile Nest to at least hinder those rotations a little bit that the Bees are trying to set up. So every time they have to go from the mid to the top or to the bot lane, they will be slowed down by those toxic nests being put in place. Keep also in mind that the level 7 talent was a pretty massive power spike on the side of the Tassadar and Tracer combo, since we have Kala's Embrace here now as a talent. So that is definitely one of the things where TeamLiquid realizes that they will suffer at this stage a little bit. Level 10 is on the other hand a bit of a game changer when it comes to that, since on level 10 with the double Zeratul or the double Greymane you can get a lot of work done. And Cursen up here at the top lane is already starting to feel that this Zeratul and Abathur combo can be a bit of a nuisance. It's a good kill here for TeamLiquid, looking at 6 kills versus 4. But they have to, of course, do a little bit more with the objective since they are starting to fall fairly far behind. Level 10 is there. Gerd moving away and barely surviving. But that was a close call. And Nasty just over and over again with the damage output here. 110 right now, going into the Quantum Spike. We have also Emerald Wind taken. There's the Stasis. Great play with the Void Prison. Well done. And they kill again. No! ADRD survives. What? ADRD gets shielded. Unbelievable. Shad with a copy on Zeratul here, but not able to make the play just yet. Unbelievable. Crazy that ADRD was able to survive here. TeamLiquid with high pressure play during all of these fights against Tychus, and they're doing well with it, but they haven't really been able to take him down in those last fights, and that's something that they definitely have to do. At this point, we're seeing now Mirrodin starting up to the top. Keep in mind that there's another 26 seconds until Abathur is going to have the copy available again. It should be in time for the altar fight though, and Brightwing is doing what she does best, split soak experience, while the fights have not started yet. Up to the top lane, talking about the fights though, we're starting to see that engagement. Brightwing is about to jump in, helping out Blade. Yeah, this time the ult did not do anything here for Tracer, and now the copy in 4 more seconds is going to be ready for Abathur again, so they can start to engage. Sphyxie is jumping in, needs to blink out, is being followed by ADRD immediately. Here comes the copy, potentially. Gerd is low though, the copy as Zeratul jumps in, but the kill against Oriel, no more heal for them. Sphyxie, is he going to try and sneak maybe the shrine at the right side, the altar? He doesn't. Shat is moving in now too, and this looks like another double altar for the Bees. The Bees are looking strong here. More shots fired against the core of TeamLiquid, and now the safe capture of the right altar at the same time. Incredibly well done here. Once again, they claim the objective, and this is really the time where TeamLiquid, they have to really start and turn this around. In experience, they actually don't look too bad. It's also in the kill count. It's not really a bad game for them. 6 versus 5 isn't too shabby. If Oriel could have survived a little bit longer in the last fight, they might have been able to claim those objectives. But now they are finding themselves in a lot of trouble, since they really need to win those objective fights from here on out. They are already down to 16 points on the core, and that's just not something that you can handle for a long period of time. In the early game, Abathur is oftentimes a little bit weaker since you don't have that extra body in the fights, but right now they really need to start to make these plays. And they're trying to go for Cursen again. There's nobody to help Brightwing out, but thanks to the Emerald Wind, Cursen is able to escape. Everybody else is still dancing around now though. The experience, as I said before, is incredibly close. We will see both of the teams, or should see both of the teams, on level 13 at roughly the same time. At least in time for the next altar, which is going to be pretty important. Down here on the other hand, still a little bit of fight happening. Also the copy again, as they are both jumping in. Using the copy to secure actually this camp that they're trying to steal away. And Yeah, Sixy also claiming the lane right now. If they can get maybe a little bit more push power going, Shed coming in from behind with a copy, trying to at least proxy the wave. Good thinking here to make sure that he at least gets some value out of that copy, since immediately we saw the Bees retreat. But now they are willing to take that fight, and 13 is about to happen for both of them. A little bit faster on the side of the Bees determined, and now we are seeing the imposing will after Reciprocate was already taken on 7 for Tyrion. Also now on 13, we have the Neo Steel coating, which is actually a talent that especially ADRD absolutely loves to use. So that is going to make him a little bit more survivable, and he needs that. I mean, considering how much we are seeing TeamLiquid jumping on Tychus, there's a great talent for him to take just to be a little bit safer. But just look at that healing static. That is such a crucial talent right now for Muradin. His power spike with that talent is absolutely brilliant. So much transference as well, and I can't wait to see what TeamLiquid is going to do with level 16 if they're going in that combo. The problem is that Sphyxy is under a lot of trouble. There's the Void Prison being used, already about to die, but we have also the drill down, and it's a single altar event right now, and TeamLiquid is trying to channel it. They're trying to engage here, of course, especially with now also Zeratul having access to his level 13 talent, the Wormhole. He can just like start and poke a little bit more. Jump in, Wormhole out again. There's force walls everywhere, but once again the engage. Bad Benny low needs to retreat here. The poke is happening, but Abathur doesn't have the copy any longer, so he needs to go for the symbiote instead. Sport Billy is down. Greymane eliminated. BKB at the front, get also in trouble. Great force wall, and it's again the Bees that are successful. One more wave, one more barrage against the core, and this is now 12 hit points against 36. 1/3 of the points on the core. Only 1/3, 30%. At this point, the Bees are doing just an absolutely fantastic job. If we're looking at the numbers here, the first thing, of course, that sticks out is that we have the 29,000 damage on the side of Tracer. That is really helping them here in this case. When we're looking at the healing numbers, then Tassadar is actually doing a pretty fantastic job here with his 30,000 thanks to the shields. Aurea not really getting that much value just yet. We're having 24,000 on her, but it's really a bit of a problem, the damage being dished out. I mean, right now 25,000, Greymane is the top that we see in the game. We have still Abathur doing a solid amount of work, but slowly and steadily the Bees are also fairly ahead in experience, heading into level 16 already, and that would be a bit of a disaster for TeamLiquid, who are already behind. But for a comeback to happen, they need their own 16 talent to get a little bit more value out of that that Muradin and Abathur combination. But it doesn't really look too good for them, especially since, of course, the next Altar Wave is going to be a pretty big one as well. So right now we have BKB and his boys looking to see if they can maybe set something up here and get an isolation kill somewhere on the map. But as I said, level 16 is so close right now for the Bees that TeamLiquid will find themselves very far behind after just a few more seconds once again, and there it is. Level 16 talents. Not only does it make Tassadar just so much more survivable with him having the Dimensional Warp right now, which is basically like a healing potion for them. We also see now the Sleight of Hand taken. We're having the Holy Ground, which for zoning purposes is of course fantastic. And in addition to that, we're also now seeing the Lead Rain for the movement speed. So just think about the Holy Ground, the Force Wall on Tassadar, and also the movement speed slow here. And we have 3 altars on the map as is. And there is still a talent disadvantage. TeamLiquid will potentially have to let 2 of these go. That would put them down to only 4% on the core, and this means the boss could finish the game. But right now, Zeratul pressuring Brightwing at the bot lane. Already ADRD with his Tychus, getting 1 altar. Here comes Shad. They're trying to go for a jump in. Get him here, gets a free channel. At the bot lane, on the other hand, we're seeing Sphyxy alone, and even with a Void Prison, he can't survive. And this means that we're having another altar channel through by the Bees. TeamLiquid will be down on only 4 points on their core. Look at Blade. Dimensional Warp helping him to survive here, getting the hit points back. 4 points against 32. Absolutely fantastic play here once again on the side of the Bees. They're doing just an excellent job with this drafting. The Mad Scientist here once again just showing his skills as a drafter. And of course a series like Meta Madness is really giving him currently a lot to work with. The boss is claimed, and this is game. We're seeing the shots fired, and this is it, ladies and gentlemen, as the Bees take victory on game number 2 here in the Meta Madness series and make it a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Game number 3, everybody. TeamLiquid versus the Bees, and right now the Bees are actually quite powerful here. 2-0 lead for them already, meaning in the best of 5 here at Meta Madness, powered by Lioncast. This could be the last map. Cursed Hollow is the map, and they're thinking about ETC banning. That hero is already banned out, so that would result in an immediate redraft, but of course they know that. So at this point, as you can see, there's a lot of heroes banned here. So this is really, this is the time when the teams are starting to look at like, okay, that's banned already, right? We don't need to ban that anymore. And they banned Tyrael. And guys, I have to stress this again. Think about a potential 4th map. How many warriors are already going to be banned on that? So Tyrael is banned out right now by the Bees. TeamLiquid, what are they going to ban here? I mean, we're talking Cursed Hollow at this point. Normally, what would you look at? You would say, like, okay, let's ban Zagara, let's ban Falstad. Guess what? Both of them are already banned. So you have to come up with a different game plan here, and you have to really think about what do we want to get rid of at this point? What are standard heroes? And they actually go for a ban on Hammer. The first map, Braxis Holdout, Hammer got so much value, and now with Hammer being banned, there is so few range damage dealers that are actually available. We could now start to go really into, more melee heroes, more just like seeing maybe even, I mean, there's like, we haven't seen a Sonya yet, we haven't seen a Thrall yet, we could at some point see a Tennis, especially when it comes to a 4th map, but the Bees, they lock down, of course, a warrior first. With this many warriors banned already, they secure Muradin. They say, Muradin, that's the hero that we want to have right away, because we know that there is starting to be a warrior chokehold. And if TeamLiquid doesn't take a warrior right now, are they going to go for the Tassadar and Tracer again? They do it. Tassadar, Tracer. And guys, now the Bees, think about it. They can pick a 2nd warrior and ban another warrior out. And then TeamLiquid is all of a sudden in trouble. Because right now, think about it. You take, for example, the Anubarak and you ban out Johanna. And all of a sudden, Abathar Atanas maybe? Just saying, it's the Bees, right? It's ADRD's team, the mad scientist. Tana, thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much. Abathar together with Muradin, already a beast. You can play that also with an Atanas. Are they trying to go for that warrior chokehold? With Abathar right now, it feels a little bit more like natural to go into a Jaina, I would say. I mean, we haven't really seen too many mages here today. Kalithas is out there. You can go for the Jaina. You can go for the Greymane, of course. We've seen the Abathar Greymane in the last game already played by TeamLiquid. Not quite that successful, but still it is a powerful combo that you can go for. And the Bees could definitely start and go into Greymane. But they go for that Tychus again. So they have the Tychus once more, unless they switch. But right now it seems like we're going to have another Tychus game by them. ADRD was on Tychus, did a fairly good job there, was always a primary target for TeamLiquid, and TeamLiquid is actually just hoping to really get finally some value out of that Tassadar Tracer. And think about also how strong actually the Force Wall is on this map. If you have the fights around the Tribute, around the boss, the Force Wall is once again just like absolutely crucial. Here's the Tychus pick, and TeamLiquid going into the bans right now. And they are looking at a Butcher ban. And some people might look at this and like, what the hell are they thinking? But keep Gamescom in mind, where we had the last European regional final. And 2B's Determined played Butcher several times. And that wasn't Meta Madness. That's just their normal thought process. These guys are playing Medivh, they're playing Butcher, they play all that stuff, and TeamLiquid says, you know what, with Butcher there, us maybe even taking an Oriel and not going into a cleanse, and them already using Abathar, make sure that Butcher is just like eliminated, because that would be just too much to handle. It's a smart ban actually. Think about it. You pick Oriel, if you do, you don't have a cleanse. It's a little bit likely that we see maybe even a Brightwing again together with a Tassadar, but there's a chance for Oriel. So if you don't have a cleanse, or you don't want to go into a cleanse if you pick a Brightwing, and then you have like an Abathar Butcher against you, Muradin is already taken, you're lacking stuns, then you have a problem. Dehaka banned out, and that is a bit of a target ban against BKB, to be honest, because TeamLiquid, they played Dehaka in the past. BKB is one of the players that has actually a huge affinity for Dehaka in the first place. And let's face it, Cursed Hollow is not really a bad map for Dehaka. If you want to play him, this is a decent map for him to be played. So right now, TeamLiquid, how are they going to play with this? Are they going to go into the second healer? Do we see that Brightwing again? What's happening with their front line? Are they using a Johanna here? Are they saying, okay, screw it, we're not going to go into a Johanna, we're playing a different frontliner, like maybe a Nuborak even as a solo tank? There is a couple of options of what they can definitely do here, but they also need a bit more damage. We could at some point even see a Reyna coming back into this. Reyna has also occasionally been played in the double warrior meta if you have too many frontliners, so that you have a lot of targets. Could be played here. But they go into the Grey main for now. Maybe also still a little bit afraid that the Bees are going to try and go for the double Grey main. And there's Johanna right now. With all those heroes banned out, all those warriors, they are going in a Johanna for now. So we have that already set. No, it is a Leoric. Ooh, okay, that's going to make things interesting. I would prefer the Johanna, to be honest. Leoric is great if you have 2 tanks, but like going for a Leoric solo would be quite the commitment here. So Johanna taken, has a lot of survivability, of course, at that point too. And the Bees with their last 2 picks. And I mean, just looking at this, I would say one thing that we definitely still need for them is some damage, either in the form of them running melee assassin. Well, talking melee assassin, right? Look at that. The dirty girl is coming back into play. It is Kerrigan. And yes, Kerrigan together with that Muradin here, apparently. And the Abathur, of course, to help her out. That would still call for a healer. We have seen some crazy Abathur-only games, but this is definitely screaming after another support. And I mean, we have Uther still around. We have Karazim, who wasn't banned just yet. So those are 2 of the heroes that could be picked here to complement that setup that they're running. And they definitely need some strong sustain, like no doubt about that. And if they go Uther, then they have an additional stun with this, of course. If they go into a Karazim, then they can go into the Palm, which is going to help Kerrigan too. But let's see what the choice is. I mean, there's a couple of other options that we still have. I mean, we've been talking about, like, Brightwing, for example, a little bit. With TB's Determined, you never really know what you're going to get. And we're getting a Lily. Okay. So we have a Lily. We have a cute little panda looking for adventure. And adventure she'll find on Cursed Hollow going up against TeamLiquid. And TL with their last pick. We still kind of need them with another support, and it is an Uther. Brightwing is also still there. Tassadar Brightwing isn't bad at all, but they seem to be going into an Uther here to just enable that Grey main a little bit more even. And there we go. Uther being picked. The Bees are in the lead with a 2-0 against TeamLiquid. So TeamLiquid, they have to really win this unless they want, unless they're going to crash and burn with a 3-0. But let's see what the Bees have, what the Bees can do with that Kerrigan, with that Abathur and that Lily behind them in this game right now. There's actually not this many interrupts against Lily's ults. There's a few that can be used, but you have to get close enough to her, for example, before all of that happens. So guys, let's jump in. Meta Madness, powered by Lioncast. TeamLiquid going up against the 2 Bees Determined. The 3rd game on Cursed Hollow, everybody. Meta Madness best of 5 with TeamLiquid going up against the 2 Bees Determined, who are in the lead with a 2-0. And to the left side, we have TeamLiquid. Actually, like in this case, they switched around, and that means I have to switch my overlay as well, which I'm doing right now. Oops, sorry for that. So we have Blade on Kerrigan in this game. We have Bad Benny currently playing on Muradin. At the same time, it is Tychus played by Nasty. And of course, we have Abathur played by ADRD. No big surprise about that, that he goes for the specialist in this case. And Curson is playing the Lily in this game. At the same time, now we have to the right side, Sphyxia on Grey main, Shat on Tassadar, Sport Billy on Tracer, Get Head on Uther. And BKB is playing the Johanna as the main frontliner on the side of TeamLiquid. And especially when we're talking Johanna, of course, the level 1 talent is interesting these days, since Night Takes Pawn is currently baseline for Condemn, and therefore we have right now Reinforce Taken, so basically her block variation in this game. And also, once more, Third Wind, since it's a pretty similar state also for Muradin, who has now the baseline slow on the attack speed on his Thunderclap, and therefore you don't really need to go for that anymore. Third Wind and Block are good options for him on level 1, and that's what they're currently using here. Lily, by the way, going into the Timeless Creature, using the Serpent build at this point. Pressurized Glance for Abathur. And Lily already under a little bit of pressure down to the bot lane here in the same time, as Gedamhead and Sphyxia are both going to try and take her on. Lily, on the other hand, is a pretty good solo laner at the beginning of the game. Very tough to beat her in that case. So ADRD is giving a bit of support down here, but so far things are actually looking pretty decent for them. In the meantime, Sport Billy, the Shat Sport Billy combo with Tassadar and Tracer is something that TeamLiquid is going to try and rely upon once again. Blade already rocking that new Kerrigan skin, which is just absolutely awesome, and that bike as well. One of the best mounts in the game right now, I have to say. Like, that thing is looking pretty fantastic, and that Kerrigan skin, of course, as well. The new bundle that Blizzard introduced in the shop is actually pretty sweet. At the bot lane, we're still seeing Curson together with Abathur here. So right now, there's not really too much happening on the map, but that's going to change once the first tribute spawns. And keep in mind that especially around the 2-minute mark, usually... Oh, Blade! Look at that. Good combo attempt against Sport Billy. You had to rewind out of this. But around the 2-minute mark, you oftentimes have heroes going for those siege camps and just attempt to make sure that they get a camp pushing while the first tribute is active on the map. And that's actually what both of the melee assassins do right now. If you want to call Greymane a melee assassin, I guess in this case, he is going into his Wong form to do that. So one camp already taken here towards the right, and up to the top we see the same thing happening as Blade is going for them. Blade, by the way, on level 1, going into the sharpened blades for the additional damage and the psionic pulse. It's one of those builds that is something that especially the Bees have been playing for a long time. Even before, I mean, this is like after the psionic pulse got like nerfed a little bit in the recent patches. Before that, they used it nearly exclusively. These days, it's sometimes a bit of a variation play that they have on the hero, but they still like to go for that particular build. Tychus now, with the bigger they are, trying to put some additional pressure on Johanna in particular. But both of them are already taking those camps, so we are actually seeing those siege giants traveling in. As the tribute is spawning at the bot lane, which is giving a little bit of value to the red team. But right now, it surprised me still a bit that they kept it this early. They could have waited a little bit longer. But as you can see right now, Shad has to stay up at the top lane to at least D-push against those two. And in the meantime, down here, we're already seeing the teams trying to collapse onto the tribute and make sure that they get the first one. The D-push is happening on both lanes. Tasla is finally starting to make that rotation, which allows Abathur, of course, to split soul experience up at the top. Already Bad Benny with an attempt to just like zone out Sport Billy here. And Curson successfully goes for that tribute. Yeah, unfortunately for them, BKB a bit too late with that shield glare to interrupt. But first tribute ending up in the hands of the Bees. The Bees in the lead here, at least for now. Also, of course, with Abathur starting to split the experience up at the top lane. And Abathur going, by the way, into the Toxicness. So the cooldown reduction and also the additional charges, so they can spam that out a little bit more. AD already against Chad has to get away! Oh, what? Wow, 20 hit points. Chad barely not able to kill him. One more auto attack and he would have died there. Not realizing that Tassadar was headed his way, but AD already still survives. That was a close call, though, immediately realizing that he can just simply zip out of there because there's no stun available. Nice attempt to take Curson down, but apparently Sport Billy not really on point with his heroic ability here, so not able to take Lily down. Kind of doubt, though, that she would have died either way. But BKB in the mid lane, he might be in a bit of trouble. Goes in with his own Iron Skin now, though, to try and go for Carrigan, and Blade is low and even with the Abathur support. That's the kill that TeamLiquid was looking for. Well played here. Level 7 talents now, of course, by now have hit for both of the teams, and that means Carla's Embrace once again taken on the side of Tassadar. We're also seeing the Jumper taken as level 7. Parting Gift into Jumper here for the build that we are seeing on Tracer. And, well, at the same time, Tribute number 2 is in, but a bit of a collapse into the mid lane where Nasty might be a bit alone there on his Tychus. Good zoning attempt, as now we have an opportunity for Uther to channel through Tribute number 2, and that definitely happened here. So in this case, it's a 1-1 in Tributes. It's actually really important that you get one of the earlier Tributes if you're playing an Abathur combination, just simply because it's always a bit tricky without that 5th buddy in those fights to really get a whole lot done if you do not even have the threat of using the Abathur ultimate evolution. But right now we are actually in a situation. Oh, good stun lock, and Uther! Uther is in trouble. Gerd is about to fall. This is the end of him, and Sphyxy has to retreat as well. The camp is about to be stolen away, and that will be huge. But Shat is moving in now. They're still fighting. And look at Carrigan. She's low. The kill potentially. Not quite. Carrigan. Blade is dead, and this is Nasty's demise. He is down to what looked like a steal on the camp, and a pretty solid move by the Bees all of a sudden turns out to be a double kill against the Bees, and it will be a triple. Bad Benny can try and jump out of this one, but I highly doubt that he's going to survive either way. Yep, he's trying to run, trying to actually be back for now, but Gad sees him. They go in, and he's going to fall. Shat even using the Oracle to make sure that they have the vision. And this is, of course, then also an easy tribute for TeamLiquid, since they can, without any contestation, just move straight for the tribute and claim the second one. Even moving towards the boss now, since they claimed the early level 10. Great play by them here, so really well done. And yeah, at this point, this is actually really great for them. It looked like they would lose the camp, and this could have completely backfired, to be quite frank. But now they even get the boss, and that is just absolutely brutal. We're having, of course, with Khaldor also the opportunity to just set up another force wall to save the boss, and that's something that Chad needs to do, and he's already starting to do exactly that. Boss is taken, Karrigan was just a second too late to get the chance to jump in here. And now we have, of course, also still the heroic abilities for both of these teams, which in this case now leads us to the heal talent on the side of Lily with a Jug of 1,000 Cups. We have the Blessed Shield for Johanna, and we're seeing once more the Quantum Spike taken for Tracer. And yeah, the boss is pushing through the top lane. It's 4 kills against 1 in favor of TeamLiquid, mostly because that attempt to steal the Night Camp away, the Bruiser Camp, backfired. But TeamLiquid is starting to gain a bit of value. The boss up at the top lane is already hammering away at the well, and therefore with the fountain gone, that takes a bit of the lane sustain away at the top lane. And this is potentially a curse tribute now against the bees. So TeamLiquid is trying to set up shop around it, starting to take the safe route here actually. Spot Billy and everybody else just moving back because they're not quite sure where exactly the opponent is positioned, and they don't want to risk to run into a Karrigan Muradin right over here with the double stuns. Abathur's at the bot lane, can go for the ultimate evolution. Karrigan is there, waiting for a chance to jump in. Here comes the ADRD copy. Nasty and ADRD with a double Tiger starting to move in. Shat, TeamLiquid, they are split. They're very split. Greymane is jumping in and trying to escape here. Sphyxy is incredibly low. Even dodging the heal of Gadam Hertz, who of course had no chance of knowing that he would move away in that particular moment. ADRD nearly losing the copy just now. Interrupts against Curson as he's trying to go for the tribute there. TeamLiquid is not out of it just yet. They went back to the well and started to tap. Curson is once again interrupted, and they're jumping in. Blade with his heroic, and in the backline we're seeing Lily with the heals. Is it enough to keep Blade alive though? That's the main question. Blade goes in for the kill, and he gets the double kill as Ultha and Greymane are both dead. Karrigan still surviving, just healing herself up the entire time, and Curson getting the full value out of his ult with Lily to make sure that nobody dies. 3 kills against 0 and the tribute taken. The bees back with a bang. Great play here by them, and they are able to just push TeamLiquid back, kill 3 heroes, tie up the kill count in the game, and also get the lead in experience with AD already on his avatar, still soaking the XP down at the bottom of the map. Great play here by them. In the meantime, Lily is currently active in the mid lane, trying to soak. We have camps taken from Muradin, as he's probably going to be assisted by Abathur soon, trying to go for one of the camps. He will have to back anyways, because of his mana problem that he has right now. And we're seeing another Bruiser camp being fought over by Nasty and Blade. So, great attempt. TeamLiquid just double checking at the boss because they thought that there might be an opportunity for their opponent to claim boss in the meantime. That didn't happen, but of course that Siege Giant and the Bruiser camp is still going to be a bit of a nuisance here at the top in the mid lane. And we have level 13 ready for the bees as well. And with that, they're now looking at the double strike. We're seeing them with That's the Stuff and the Soma Transference, which is making Karrigan even harder to take down here now, of course, since you have that additional sustain. And TeamLiquid, they don't have the experience for 13 just yet, but they need to fight over the tribute, because this is going to be a curse one way or another. Healing static taken, Shrink Ray 2 already. BKB has to go straight for his Iron Skin. Is going to interrupt again with the Shield Glare, but the channel has started again. Shat in the back line with a good storm, but there we have it. No 13 just yet. Gad is being attacked. He's being attacked and he's about to fall here. He needs to somehow keep himself alive, but he has just no chance, not using his ult either, if I'm not mistaken. And at this point we're seeing BKB again moving out. The Force Wall was of course like trying to zone in addition to that, but this is a curse against TeamLiquid. And actually he did use the Divine Shield. The countdown didn't activate for a second here up at the top interface, which was a bit odd, mostly because I think Uther was not dead and his ghost was still around. He let himself die there also to have, of course, the cooldown reduction on his heals, but at the same time, though, they were not able to fight this battle since they still did not have level 13 talents, and that was one of the biggest disadvantages. They felt forced into the fight, though, because they were about to be cursed and they tried to avoid it. Now we have On the Prowl taken, we have Incendiary Elixir on Greymane and the Draft Overflow, pretty much the build that we've already seen in the last one. Both of the healers went into the Shrink Ray, and even more damage now thanks to the Burning Rage on the side of Johanna. But TeamLiquid is struggling. They are 2 levels behind right now, and they are losing just on every lane at this point. The boss is taken by ADRD's team. We have Blade and his boys now going straight through the bot lane here with it. And Blade on that Carrigan is just doing so much work. And the level 16 talent is going to help them with that, of course. We have now the aggressive defense taken. We're seeing the Serpent sidekick. It's a full build, like completely stacked into the Serpent. So right now with one Timeless Creature straight into the Mending Serpent, the Lightning Serpent for the additional bounces, and now the Serpent sidekick to make it even worse. The heavy impact, not even going for give him the axe, which synergizes with the envenomed spikes here, but Carrigan is of course the main target for the Symbiote at this point, and ADRD is right now already going into the ultimate evolution for the double Tychus. ADRD and his guys down in the bot lane, they want the keep. The boss is there. Divine Shield on Uther himself as he nearly died again. They're still trying to defend, and they're actually giving them quite the fights here. But the problem is the keep will fall one way or another. Bad Benny is jumping in for the stun. They're trying to go for a kill against Fixie's. Fixie is down. Divine Shield without Curse with good positioning here on his ult, not interrupted, and gets the value. And this might be the end of Tacita too as he moves away. Shat barely surviving here. Gad already falling though, getting the cooldown reduction on his heals, but even that doesn't help him. It's 4 kills against TeamLiquid, and this looks like it's going to be game GG. We have a 3-0 as the Bees take down TeamLiquid, making it a flawless victory here. Jumping onto Tracer to take her down as well. Tacita is dying. It's a complete wipe. And this is another Meta Madness game where ADRD and his boys are showcasing how strong they are. 3-0 as the Bees take down TeamLiquid. Congratulations and well played.